All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We've got a good little group on tonight. I am so glad that you have decided to join us tonight. One, it shows that you're serious and you're interested. Whether it be you're interested in getting your money back for the product, whether it be you're interested in making 100, 200, 300, $500 a month, or even making thousands a month. That means that you're interested. So I really want to pour into you guys and kind of just start fresh because for one reason, we've all just come off of summer, right? And it's been crazy. It's been busy. Everybody was off schedule. Everything was crazy for everybody. And I just want to say, you know what? Let's reel it back in. Let's go back to what we know works. And if you're new and you haven't been, with us very long and you don't know what works or what to do or how to do it, that's okay. If you've been with us for a little while and you do know what works and you know how to do it, but you haven't been doing it, then start doing it. Because we know what works. Everybody over me makes well over $20,000 a month. There is no reason that all of us cannot be in their shoes. No reason. So we're on the strongest team, only double diamond team, strongest team. Do you realize that there were 450 jewels at that at Kona? Okay. There are 490,000 ambassadors. That's only 450. But if you put it in the bigger perspective, 450 of all of the United States, Canada, Australia, 450 people. That's nothing. We all live around more than 450 people. That is a drop in the bucket. There's so much potential out there. Do you realize, too, though, that we were half of the entire jewels under Celeste? We have come from the best training program. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're passing it down. First, though, I want us to get our minds right because this is where it begins. We can know all of this stuff, but this is where it begins and where it ends. And I want to say that I've seen some of you have been with me for a while. Some of you are new. It doesn't matter what point you're at. I want it to start fresh right here. And if you've noticed, I have a wet head and I have no makeup on. And most of you are like, oh, Holly usually has her jewelry on and her stuff. You know what? I was sitting there and I was listening to our praise and worship music and I was like, we're all a bunch of mamas and daddies. We're tired at the end of the day. We want to get our babies in bed. We're sacrificing to be on this call because one, we want to make a difference in our family financially. Two, we want to help other people. And three, we have some kind of dream. We want to stay at home with our babies or we want to quit working every day, busting our honeys just to work and pay bills and die. So we have a reason that we are all on here. And you know what? Don't feel like you have to come to this call fixed up. You don't. If you're getting out of the bathtub, come on, bring it. I've got my Kona shirt on that I wore yesterday too, and my hair's wet. And I mean, it's okay. Let's just be real here. It's okay. We don't have to be all fancy to meet together and just be real and change our lives and change other people's lives. So I want you to come on these Thursday nights comfortable and be able to just be here and get this 30 minutes in and learn. You're here because you're interested. But I want to ask you, are you just interested or are you committed? Because those are two totally different things there. If you're interested, you haven't really gone all in. And some of my people that have been here a year or over, and even some that are gold and above maybe, are still just interested. They just signed up and got lucky with some people. So are you interested or are you committed? And that's what's going to get you to Emerald in this next year. The committed people will make it to Emerald. The interested people, not so much. In fact, you'll probably go backwards. Let's just be real. If you're not interested or committed at all, you'll be gone. But you've got to choose. Are you interested or committed? Committed? I hope next year I have to buy 50 of these Kona shirts that say Maui. I hope I have to go broke on the shirts because every one of us are on there. So what do you have to do? Start today. You've got to be committed. let me tell you a little background story. This time last year, y'all remember, I was senior gold. I went really fast. I went fast gold. I thought, dang, this is easy. I can do this. Went to convention, came off convention on a high. Things happened over the summer. Backed off, didn't work my business as much as I was. Points started to decline. I almost quit. So this time last year, I almost quit this business. And Lindsay was on the phone with me one night at 11 o'clock, and she's like, Holly, you've come too far to quit now. She's like, there is some kind of desire in your heart, or you still wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't be on this conversation with me. So I'm telling you now, there's some kind of desire in your heart. You feel it deep down that you're supposed to do something with this, or you wouldn't be on this call with me tonight. What did I do starting when school started back and from now? I got my butt in gear. I got my training. I did my daily work, and I made it happen. I sat still and went backward for 6 months. The next months from here on through April, I ranked up 3 times in not even 7 months. And that is doubling a lot of big points. Think about that. That was going from senior gold points to senior ruby, 750. Then I had to hit 1,500. That is insane. But I did the work. I did what it needed to be done. And so, are you interested or are you committed? And there's a difference. If you're at a level right now, it's going to take more work for you to get to the next level. So let's talk about your mindset. How you feeling about it? You feeling scared? One, are you afraid of failure? Let's just all be real. I thought all of this stuff, or I wouldn't be saying it to you because this was in Holly's head. You feeling it? You scared? Scared of failure? Scared of putting yourself out there? Are you scared to dream? Have you really, really dreamt big? Like big? Are you believing? Are you like just kind of like, oh, that sounds good. I'm hoping I can make a difference. I'm hoping I can do that. You know, I think I can. Maybe I can, or no, I probably could go all the way there. You're not giving yourself any credit, but most importantly, you're not giving God any credit. So you're really not dreaming big. You're holding yourself back, and that's a shame. That is a shame, because I want you to have a pen and paper and write a few things down. I'm not doing any PowerPoint because this is a talk between us. This is an honest to God. This is what's going to have to happen. This is what we're going to have to do to make this work for us and for you. The first thing I want to do is it is John 14:12 through 14, and I'm going to read it because this is what verse got me to Emerald. And I know it is, and I prayed over it, and I prayed over it every day. And it says, most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Are you really asking God for this? Are you really praying big? Are you really dreaming big? Because if you're not, you're holding yourself back, and you're not going to do the daily work. You're not going to keep going when people tell you no. You're going to continue to be like, oh, somebody says no to me, and you're going to get down and out. You know what? The only reason that I'm Emerald or Juliet and Lindsay or Diamond is that we've been told no more times than you've been told no. And that's the honest truth. We have reached out to more people and been told no more times than you have, and that's the only reason we are here. We have nothing magical. We're not special people. We don't have a certain network or can say something a different way. We all are passed down the same information. This opportunity is for any of us here, and we can all be successful with it. And if you look at 450 jewels, that is a drop in the bucket. Next year, there's probably going to be about 700, and y'all better be 25 of them, because there's no reason that we can't take it and run with it. Our sidelines are doing it. We've been doing it. We can do this. And when you start believing you can, that's when it's going to change for you. But until you believe you can, it's not going to change. Until you decide to be committed, it's not going to change for you. So what does that look like? Does that look like on my phone every day, every hour, answering 50 million messages? No, you'll get burnt out. You'll hate it, and you will quit. You don't do that mess. You've still got to have time for your family, and you've got to have priorities. You've got to get yourself organized. Is what you've got to do. So four things, and this is not reinventing the wheel. I've told you this. Some of you have heard it 100 times before. And what I want to say is, so why aren't you doing them? Because if you were doing them, it would be a little more progress for you. Some of you are like, oh, you're stepping on my toes. Yes, I'm stepping on your toes. You want to know why I'm stepping on your toes? Because I know almost every one of you on here, I know your why. I know why you're doing this. I know you want to stay home with your baby. I know you can't afford that grocery cart. I know that you want your husband to be home and not work as many hours. I know you want to pay off some debt. I know you want to stay at home with your babies. I know you want to be home with them when they're sick. I know this, so I'm not letting you quit because it's doable, it's possible, and it is tangible. And I've seen it all week last week with 450 people that their lives are totally changed because of Plexus. And they just decided to be committed and not interested. So, what are we going to do? Okay, one. First, let me say this before I tell you what to do, though. I learned this week, and this spoke volumes to me. When I was watching Sarah Marvel's in the Plexus, Sarah Robbins' training, and Julia had sent it to us for us to watch, and I was like, I really don't want to watch this hour training. It's the best thing I ever watched. I sat there and I wept. If you haven't watched it on my team page, every one of you on this message right now, you need to watch it. If you're hearing my voice, you need to go and watch it because God has got you here for a reason, and He's got something bigger planned. This is not about you. This is not about me. It's not about any one of us. What she said was that the most powerful thing I've probably ever heard, other people's destiny is tied to your obedience, your actions, and your activities. So now if you're here and you quit, then you're quitting on other people. So your actions, your activities, your obedience of what God has brought to our lives, what we're supposed to do with this business, what we're supposed to help people, the people we're supposed to bring in that'll be on this call with us the next time, they're depending on you. And your actions are directly tied to their destiny and yours. So God has brought us this. Now, what are we going to do with it? So what I want to challenge you is, I've heard a lot of excuses this summer. I've made a lot of excuses for myself this summer. Stop the excuses. Do what it takes and stop the excuses. I'm going to say for the next September through December, no excuse. Don't send me an excuse. Don't tell me, oh, I can't be there because of this, this, and this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want any excuses. You will absolutely make time for what you want for being there. That's what it's going to take. Now, does that mean, oh, my kid's got a ball game, I can't be there? No. If you really sacrifice, you can put a headpiece in and listen to them. Or you can watch the video if you send me a message and say, hey, record it, and I'll shoot it to you if I can remember to record. But what I'm saying is, make it happen when you think you can't, because it's not convenient for you. Because a year's worth of putting into it is really going to make the difference for you. It's going to make the difference. And I say that because I was an excuse maker. Last summer, I made excuses. I did. And this year, I haven't made excuses. Until this summer, I made a few, and then I stopped myself because I was like, quit feeling sorry for yourself and get up and do what you know needs to be done, Holly. And that changed it. So when I say no excuses, I say it in love because I want this for you, because I know what it can be, and you can do this. 4 things. Reaching out to new people. Are you doing it? And I don't mean by hiding on Facebook. Are you reaching out to new people? You know, and some of my new people that are joining, they're probably like, my God, she is hardcore. I used to not as much, but now I realize if I'm not honest with people, if I'm like, yeah, you can just do a little bit here, a little bit there, or just try this, people aren't going anywhere. People are quitting left and right. You can't do that. You got to be honest. You got to tell the truth. You got to be like, hey, how we get there. So reach out to new people. What's that look like? Well, if somebody sees you drinking your pink drink at the ballpark, you're talking to them about Plexus, mention a few products to them, that's one person. It doesn't have to be harder than you're making it. If you've got somebody that is, you know, at dance and you mention something to them, they said, oh, I'm just exhausted. I feel terrible. My fibromyalgia is kicking up. Well, know that we have something. Hey, I've got somebody I can send you somebody or connect us that has had some relief with that. If you want to, no pressure, but I've got something that might can help you. That's a connection. Also, go through Facebook. List your friends A to Z. You know these people. If they have an issue, send them a message. Start a conversation. If you expect to make a sale or sign somebody up the first time you talk to people, that's unrealistic. That's just not realistic. You're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. Get a conversation going with them. As Plexus comes into the conversation, work it in. Connect with people. People don't want to know how much you care or know what you know until they know how much you care, and they don't just want to be. I'll tell you this. When I started, I was trying to sell this to people. And I've told y'all this before. I ran around my subdivision, and I was listening to praise and worship music, and I was crying because my business wasn't working. I was upset. And I was like, Lord, why am I not going anywhere? I really want to stay home with my baby next year. You know I do. You know the desires of my heart. And he just spoke to me, and I started crying, and he said, love people. Love people, share with people, and care about people. Try to help them. And when I changed my mindset to that, instead of selling this, it worked. It worked. It worked. And I don't get my feelings hurt if somebody says no, thank you, or I'm not interested, or I don't think so. Guys, people are skeptical. I was skeptical. My husband said, don't do it. It's a scam. I mean, that is normal. If they're not skeptical, it's kind of like a red flag a little, because that is normal. They don't know what we have and what we have to offer. It's our job to share it with them. So when you do that, and the more people you share it with, let's face it, the more action you're going to get. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not even talking to 5 new people a day. When I got started, I messaged everybody I could. There's a sheet going around on my Silver, Gold, and Above group that helps you to do your daily activity. If you don't have that, message me, and I'll shoot it to you. You can print it out. For Erica Havlick, I know she has it on here. She can shoot it to you real quick on Facebook. But it kind of gives you like who to contact today, who to follow up with, and the things, your activities to do every day. Now, do you have to spend hours working on Plexus? No. Do you have to spend all day? No. Is it ever a Plexus emergency when somebody messages you and you have to answer it, message it right back and have to know? No, it's not. So do not stress yourself out with this. You do your work that you know you need to do. Reach out to new people. I would say minimum 5 a day and follow up with 3. That's minimum. If you want to go to Hawaii next year, you better pick up your game a little bit, sister, because I'm just being real. The follow up, that's where you get these people though. Fortune is in the follow up. It took me 3 months and 8 messages, remember, and that's when I started talking about joining and carrying on the conversation. So don't be unrealistic and think, oh, I'm going to message a few people, message 10, and nobody messaged me back, but one person said, no, I'm done, this is not for me. Stop that. You're giving up on yourself. That's not what this is about. Reach out to people. You will find the people that you need. You need to pray for the people that need the business, pray for the people that need the product. You can do this. You've got to mentally get your head straight, though, and prepare yourself. The reason we say post 3 times a day. Why? That is ridiculous, Holly. You're posting too much about Plexus. I know, but only 7% of my Facebook even sees any of my posts. I have 4,000 friends. 7% of that's not very many. I don't see all of my friends' posts. Do y'all? I don't see them. And so what you need to do is do a personal post and don't get away from those salesy posts. If you know how to post something where you're using the products, it's benefiting you for energy or your stomach issues or your health or somebody you love. Be smart about your marketing. They don't want to see a graphic that's salesy up there. That turns everybody off. Nobody likes to be sold to. But if they feel like they're being cared about and shared with and you're genuinely trying to help them, they will see the difference in that. So you've got to get to that point. And post, because I'm telling you right now, some of your family members have come to me because you're not posting. And they've come to me and they're like, well, I saw you said this about this. And they feel like I know more than you because I'm sharing it. And they might even realize you're signed up. So that's why we put ourselves out there, because they're more likely to come to you because they're close to you. But they'll bypass you and come to other people that are posting and sharing. I would do a mixture. I would do about the business. I would do about the products. And I would not just do about my pink drink. I would mix it up. I do about stomach issues, about pain, about weight, about everything. But I would not tag yourself as a one certain product kind of person or a weight loss kind of thing, because we know it's much more than that. And the last thing, so we did reach out to new people, follow up, post, and check on and help the people under you and your customers. I think that's where we're failing. You feel like, oh, I did all the hard work. I did it. I made it. I signed them up. That's the easy part, guys. So keeping them going and happy and troubleshooting these products, that's the harder part. And so I recommend every week, after the people get the products, of course, I go ahead and send them, or try to remember to send them what you're taking and how to take it, the slow start if they're on that probiotic and bio cleanse, because if they start all those at one time, that detox symptoms of that bad bacteria coming out might turn them off, and they think their body's not adjusting well to it. So you've got to know what to say to these people. If you don't know what to say, you should be asking me. Because think about it. You've got to be able to say, okay, well, how are you doing on the products now? Be honest with me. Are there any issues? Do we need to troubleshoot anything? Because everybody's body is different, and you may need to take more of something or less of something. You can ask them questions like, are they drinking enough water? All of these different things that you need to be troubleshooting with your people, as well as your wholesale ambassadors and people that have signed up that might want to work the business too. You need to keep them happy. Now, let's talk real quick about taking care of your wholesale ambassadors. They always need to be added to our team page. They might not want to sell. Lindsay, who is the second diamond in Alabama, making well over $20,000 a month, did not join to sell products. Julia added her to the page. Over the weekend, she saw a post on the page. She decided, hey, I might can get my money back. Bam, changed her family's life. So, and I would not even be here. None of us would be here if it weren't for Lindsay, because she got me. So it changed my life and your life too. So you never know who this is really meant for. And they might not even know they're interested until they see some of what's going on. Help them make their first post. Ask them, why are you doing this? Why? Figure out their why. Build a relationship with them and support them. I mean, you should be working with them. If they're not gold or senior gold and above, at least even gold. Talk with them every day, every other day. Carry on conversations. When your team's big enough, you have a team page. You post once a day on that team page. You take care of these people. They have joined you. Remember, their destiny is tied to you now. What you do, your actions, your obedience, what you do is tied to you now. So that is so important for us. What else I wanted to tell you was, I made a bunch of notes because I had some really good stuff that came up. I was just making sure. Have you added your 3 every month? Some of my leaders have not been adding people in months and months and months, and they're going backward, and they're wondering why they're going backward. You want to know? It's like a bathtub drain, okay? When I joined, I was coming for 2 months, and then I was out of there. I was done. Most people don't stay around forever like we do. They'll take the products. Some won't take them regular. Some won't do what they're supposed to. Some won't drink their water. Some won't troubleshoot the products with you. They'll go away. When you're adding those 3 people in, you get 3 new people every time, then they're bringing people in. So that deals with the people that decide to stop. It's unrealistic for you to think that you're going to sign up all these people and every one of them are going to stay with you forever with this company. People are wishy-washy. They come and go. Do the products work? Absolutely. Are they amazing? Absolutely. Have they changed mine and my family's life? Absolutely. Have they changed people on this team's life? Absolutely. And those are the people that will stay. But some people won't stay around long enough to give them a chance. So you've got to be able to replace those every month. So why aren't you adding people? Probably because you're not doing your daily work. You're not reaching out to people like you should. You're hiding behind Facebook messages. You're not getting yourself out there. You're not sending a voice message instead or a text. Picking up the phone and calling them. I know. I'm pointing my finger at myself. This is what I did. I know. So what I want to say is add your 3. Make it a goal. Almost every jewel at least adds 3 a month. I've added my 2. I've got a couple on the fence. If I don't get my 3 this month, I'm going to be mad. I'm running out of time. So, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. This is 17 months in, and I haven't had hardly any, maybe 1 or 2 months that I didn't add 3 people. And some months, I added way more than that because it was a numbers game, and I went after them. I messaged. I followed up. It was okay if they weren't interested right now. I followed up later. You know, I mean, you don't drive people crazy, but you continue to have a relationship with them. And sometimes I would just not talk places and talk something else. Um, so make sure that you're reaching out and doing that and adding your 3. And if you're not giving customer care, guys, they're going to drop like flies. So just know, be prepared for it. You're not messaging them, keeping up with your customers and wholesale ambassadors. They're gone. They're gone. They're just going to just not order and just never probably message you about it. So you've got to go after them and really stay on top of it and say, be honest with me. Let me help you. Because I know how much to give and how much to put, or if we need to add an accelerator or boost, or if we need to take more BioCleanse to get that out of their system or back off on it. Like, I know all that by now. So just shoot me a message and ask me if you don't know, and I'll just shoot it right back, because I do places all day, every day, because it's my job, and I love it. Let's see. What else did I want to cover? Because we have just a couple more minutes. I told y'all we would not be long. The main thing that I want to tell you is this is not hard, so quit making it harder than it is. It's not hard. Steps are easy. You just got to do the work. Is it worth it to you? Why are you doing this? When we get off this call in just a minute, I want you to write down. I want you to set a timer on your phone, and I want you to write down for 3 minutes. I want you to write down why you're doing this. What would your life look like if you had complete financial freedom? What would your family's life look like? What would your children's life look like? What would your parents' lives look like if you had complete time freedom and financial freedom and the opportunity to have resources galore? What would your life look like? I really want you to do this. Every one of you, there's 26 of you, and I want you to message me and say done when you're done. I don't have to see it. If you want me to see it, I will. But I want you to list it out, and I don't want you to be ashamed of it. I want you to list where you would live, what your finances would look like, what car would you drive, what would your time look like to go to your kids' activities, what would dinner on the table look like, what would your grocery cart look like, what could you do in the big scheme of things when it's past that, when you have financial freedom, what would you do for other people? It's bigger than us. It's way bigger than us. It's really not about us. It's not at all. And so stop making it about you. Quit worrying about what people are going to think when you message them. It's not about you. Quit worrying about what you say to people. It's not about you. Quit worrying about not being successful. If God wants you to be, He'll carry you through. Is it going to be easy? No. I prayed on my porch after I started, and the Lord told me I would be successful with this because I obeyed Him, and we followed and we adopted Eli. Now, Eli was my biggest blessing. He really was. But God told me I would be successful because I followed His plan. But He also told me this would be a hard road. Have I cried many tears over the last 17 months? Yeah. Have I been confused of what I was doing and wondering at times if I was on the right path and what I should be doing? Absolutely. But then I would hear people on my team and their testimony, and I realized their destiny is tied to what I'm doing and my obedience and what I'm doing is what God's called me to do. I have not a shadow of a doubt in my heart that I'm right where God wanted me to be, where I'm supposed to be, that I'm supposed to be speaking to you, that you're supposed to hear these words tonight, because I prayed for these words and God gave me these words. I asked Him to use me. And if you don't have a relationship where you're close to God, I've grown closer to Him in the last 17 months than I've been in my whole life. I have a war room right behind me, and I'm not saying any of this because I'm good or I'm perfect. I sin every day, and I say stuff I'm not supposed to, and I do things I shouldn't do. But I have somebody that loves me, and I can leave it at the cross. And I have been in my war room today, and I have wept, and I have cried, and I have cried over this team, and I have prayed for you, and I have prayed for the words to say, because I know where you've been. I understand your why. I know where you're coming from. I get it because I've been there, and I understand. And I just want to tell you, we weren't born to pay bills and die. We were born to love our family, to be here for our family. We were born to honor God and to do things for Him. And He may have you here because you're supposed to do something way bigger than this. So I want you to go and watch Sarah Robbins' video. But first, I want to pray for us, and then I want you to write down everything in a detailed list. And don't be ashamed of it. And I want you to set that timer and write it down and see what it would look like if you really went all in and made this work for you. All right, let's pray. God, I just thank you for today, Lord. And I thank you for these people on this call, God. And I thank you for sending them, Lord. I prayed for them 17 months ago, Lord, that you would send the people that would need their products in the business. And God, you sent them. And I'm so thankful for them. And Lord, I know that you have so many people on this call that have a desire in their heart, Lord, that they need financial freedom, or they need time freedom, or they just need to feel better, God, and they have a desire in their heart to help people and to help their family, Lord. And Lord, help us to realize that it's not about us, that it's about you and what you've called us to do, and that this is an opportunity that you've given us, God, that I get up every day and I don't have to work Plexus. I don't have to do this business, God, but you let me do this business, and I get to do this business, and I'm thankful for it. Thank you for sending it to me. Thank you for, even when I turned it away, God, so many times, Lord, and I wasn't interested, that you kept on until you got my attention, and I thank you for that, Lord. Lord, I ask that you touch each person on this call, Lord, that they have issues with their family, with their finances, whatever it is, God, that you lay your hand on them and you touch them and you help them, God, and you just let them know that you've got them and you will carry them the whole way. Lord, I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for what you will do at the end of this year and the first of the new year. I thank you for the new people you're going to bring to our team. Lord, I thank you for our boldness and for letting us be able to have wonderful products that can help us with health, God, and that can help us financially. And Lord, help us to always remember, God, it's not to buy more things financially, but to do things to help other people too, Lord. And God, just help us to put everything in the right perspective and help us to keep you first, and to always have our head on straight, God, because you're our leader and we need to follow you and do your will with everything we do, God. I just thank you for that. Lord, thank you, and help us to continue to have a good weekend. And Lord, as we write out our desires of our heart, Lord, we're just going to pour it out to you and pray over it, God, and pray the verses in John that we believe that you will do this for us and for our family, and for the things that you've yet to reveal that we're supposed to do for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. Sorry I cried. I try not to cry, but I'm a crier. I get so emotional. I love you guys. That's why. I also want to talk to you